and welcome to another episode of the Perth to Paisley Podcast, a podcast dedicated to Heart of Midlothian Football Club. The Jambos crashed out of the League Cup in the cruelest way possible on penalty kicks, following a one-each draw with St Mirren in Paisley last Saturday. So the 63-year wait for the Scottish League Cup to return to Gorgie will continue, and joining me, Adam Kennedy, to discuss the disappointment in that being the case is Daniel McIver. McIver, 63 will become 64 at a minimum. You've been adamant for as long as I can recall that we will never win this competition. So I'm assuming that you're not all that surprised when it comes to last weekend's outcome.
We're still disappointed, but no, not surprised. I've been saying this to a few people this week. I said to you before we started recording, I am of the genuine belief that Heart of Midlothian will win the Scottish top flight before we win the League Cup. I'm almost of the belief that we'll get into the Champions League before we win the League Cup. And I would say that even before Tony Bloom's investment as well, just as a general point, because I do believe we will never win this trophy. We could go on to become one of the most successful Scottish clubs over the next 10 to 15 years, and it'll still have a big fat zero in the League Cup wins column, because it's just, I don't know. I was about to say I've never seen a team so afraid of one competition. I've seen our rivals be afraid of the bigger competition for more than double the time. But anybody else really? Dundee haven't won the Scottish Cup in a while. I keep seeing that getting chucked about
That's
for
over a century, I think.
yeah. But for a couple of, and this is what I mean. We've won the harder to win trophy, like the bigger trophy, many times in our lives. Never mind just since the last League Cup win.
Even like recent seasons, we've been given that golden ticket to get into the second round and not bother with the group games, and still found a way to
Still
exit
fucked it.
early. Or yeah,
But
oh
crucially,
dear.
Derek McInnes's Heart of Midlothian is still undefeated in games. We lost the tie, but drew the game. So, what's everybody complaining about? It's fine. We're still, the unbeaten machine marches on.
I mean, if you were to look up the dictionary definition of clutching at straws, I think that very explanation would be next to
It's
it.
just me shoulder shrugging, going, League. It's fine.
Don't see what the problem is. Yes, there were another 7 Scottish League Cup ties taking place. One before us, several after us. So before we get into chatting about our defeat in Renfrewshire, we're going to go around the grounds and chat about the other goings on in the Wee Cup. It kicked off on Friday night with the Bairns being battered at Parkhead as Celtic ran wild in some Friday night football, beating Falkirk 4-1. There was, I think, a kind of a hope and a desperation for some form of cup upset at Capello, but that wasn't the case as the Dons secured their passage into the last 8 with success over the Taunton at Capello, finishing Greenock Morton 0, Aberdeen 3. The only all-Scottish Championship tie ended in success for the Jags over the Honest Men at Firhill as Partick Thistle beat Ayr United by 2-0. And our weekend opponents, Motherwell, had to wait until extra time to squeeze past the Championship leaders in Perth as the Steelmen's sole goal was enough at McDermott Park against St Johnstone. Then, it was quite an entertaining tie on Saturday evening, particularly if you watched it on Premier Sports. I didn't bother, but obviously was getting updates. Allo Athletic equalised at Ibrox on Saturday, even pulling the tie back to 3-2. But their valiant effort in Govan was ultimately for nothing as the part-timers lost out to the Gers, Rangers getting the better of them 4-2. 2 ties on Sunday. As if Dundee United crashing out of Europe wasn't bad enough, the Terrors were beat 2-1 by Killie at Rugby Park in the last 16 of the League Cup. Killie beating United 2-1 in Ayrshire. And as if it wasn't bad enough that we were out, Hibernian edged past Livingston. Hibs' new record signing Thibaut Cleege and a Josh Mulligan wonder goal, it has to be said, saw the Highbees go to Livy and secure their spot in the last 8, beating Livingston 2-0 at the home of the Set Fair Arena or whatever the hell it's called. McIver, just really depressing in it, particularly seeing those other ties and some of the numpties left in this competition that we are, of course, out.
we'd still have gotten beat though, and this is why I'm maybe not as angry at it as maybe others, because I'm just like, this competition, we're allergic to it. So yeah, we could get the best draw possible, and I'd go, we're still going to ruin this. We're not winning it. Kuseni actually can score goals, which is probably the most damning indictment of Morton possible.
Yeah, I was going to say, but it was a Ryan McGowan special, to be fair. I mean, had he missed that,
True.
then I think Aberdeen would have literally sent him back down under.
I assume many of our listeners know him, but friend of mine, Evan McFarlane, who is a Morton fan, said on Twitter that it was like genuinely one of the few times, even as a Morton fan, where you're worried and going, no, this is a level that it's never been as bad. So Aberdeen seemed to get a slice of good fortune that they were that bad. And but yeah, I don't think I really expected any other result than that. Same with Celtic. The Rangers result's just funny. I know they
That's
win.
where the goals.
Yeah, they win, but especially with that first Alloa goal. I know it's an own goal, but like, it's just bizarre. It's insane. I don't know what's going on at Rangers. As we speak, they're about to kick off in their European game.
Indeed, Club Brugge come to town.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think a single scoreline would surprise me, because it's Rangers in Europe on the one hand. So if they won 4-0, I'd be like, well, that's what they do when they're in Europe. But if they were 5-0 down at half time, I'd be like, well, that's what they're like this season.
So what happens when you concede 2 home to Alloa? Is it bad that I'm looking at our fixture? Because we play Rangers fairly soon.
Yeah.
They're talking about the next 4 with Club Brugge, St Mirren, they go to the weekend, and obviously the Old Firm. Is it bad that I'm kind of... I don't know. I'm feeling quietly confident heading into that Rangers game. And that
yes,
doesn't
because
really
it's us against Rangers, and it does not matter. Look at them last season, and we never even got close.
All the shite that have beaten them, it just really annoys me that we still can't and most likely won't get a result against them.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. There is an air of like, all right, okay, here's hoping it stays shit as we're about to approach them.
We could, whether we will is another matter. Yeah.
The other results, it was kind of like, it wasn't a very good weekend for Ayrshire.
No.
Partick and Dundee United. Was it? Well, I was going to say actually, half of Ayrshire wasn't buzzing. But Dundee United's a weird one because they did so well in Europe. I know they went out, but still, like they did. It was a very, very valiant effort against a side who's clearly better than them. But lol at them for going out, and then for also getting knocked out of that because they were just tired.
Jim Goodwin's stand turning against him in the
no joy with Jim Goodwin going out. Just Dundee United as a as a club.
The kettle's back to boiling though, so that's
is it though? Is it though? No. This is what I mean.
Yeah.
Who have they got this weekend?
Tune up to a point. Good question. I'll check that.
Because I'm telling you now, they will not win that game. Because this is what Kettlewell does.
Oh no, they will. They've got Dundee at home.
Oh, never mind.
They'll win that.
Okay, right. Well, that doesn't count. Because it's Dundee now. So they did count. Hibs, it's apparently law that they just have a screamer in every game now.
I know. What's that? The last 3, I mean, the last couple at Easter Road and that Josh Mulligan goal.
And that, yeah. But by all accounts, Livingston actually did reasonably well against them up until a point. So, fair enough. It's pretty much what I expected. I don't know how they're going to fare against Rangers in the next round.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Legia Warsaw. I was going to say, I hope they get pumped.
No, I hope they get absolutely battered. But in regards to this competition, it's probably the best time in recent years to get drawn against Rangers in the cup competition.
I also feel like Hibs' record against Rangers is better through in Glasgow than it would be at Easter Road.
That's probably true. With no actual research done, just going on pure vibes, that does feel right.
I feel like Rangers always win at Easter Road, or at the very worst draw.
Yeah.
Whereby Hibs get results at Ibrox like they did last season. They pop up from time to time, so as long as they don't
do it now. Come on, Russell. Get a result to keep your job. Oh no, by that point we'll have played them.
Aye, they all got their result. Don't you want
get a bounce back win after losing to us.
Nice.
Get a bounce back win against Hibs.
Nice save. That's just
No, they'll beat us
fantastic.
and
That
then
really
they'll
is it.
be
Yeah.
coasting on that and get beat by Hibs, and it'll be a fucking disaster.
However, yes, there was several disasters in the Scottish League Cup. None more so than our game.
Yeah. The
And
first disaster
Hearts,
was the fucking team selection.
as you rightly say, Hearts manager Derek McInnes made three changes to the team that left it late to beat Dundee United 3-2 at Tannadice. Xander Clark continued in goal behind an unchanged back three of Stuart Findlay, Craig Halkett, and Frankie Kent. Harry Milne remained at left wing back, however, Oisin McEntee moved out to right wing back. Blair Spittle made way as Tobias Bent Magnuson joined Cammy Devlin in the middle of the park. And Alexandros Kizaridis and debutant Pierre Landry Cabore, what's the story, finally came in to start, took Claudio Braga and Alan Forrest's place in the starting lineup, supporting lone striker Lauren Shanklin. That meant that Hearts lined up as follows in their 3-4-3. I did say 3-4-3, didn't I?
Yeah.
Formation.
Back
Xander Clark in
yourself.
goal. Yeah. Findlay, Halkett, and Kent making up that trio. Milne, Magnuson, Devlin, and McEntee across the middle, with Kizaridis and Kabore supporting Lauren Shankland. Now, it would be very easy, Daniel McIver, for us, with hindsight, the benefit of hindsight, to come on here after the result and slate the team selection. However,
We're
once
going to
I'd
do
seen
it
that,
anyway.
no, once I'd seen that team was named, I messaged you
Yeah.
going, "What do you think that is?" Not because of, I mean, obviously a couple selections, a first Heart start, a full debut, a player playing out position that has been really good in his previous position. It was more a kind of, I'm not too sure about this, and who's playing where, as we both discussed on Saturday afternoon pre-match.
I just, it made no sense to me, both as I saw it. I mean, you can attest, I didn't even notice McEntee was in the fucking
No, you did.
lineup.
You did. Because I thought, did you say that Kizaridis was at wing back? And I said,
Yeah.
well, where would McAtee be then? And you were like, oh shit, I didn't even see
I
his
didn't even
name.
notice he was there.
There was somebody recently, actually, sorry to cut you off before you were at the start there. I think it was PSV Eindhoven. If you've seen their graphics, every player named the number, but it's in position and in formation, like it.
Do you see Man
Beautiful.
United's at the
A
weekend?
disgrace.
It's
An
the worst
absolute
thing I've ever
disgrace.
seen.
Awful. Despite their performance actually being relatively good at the
Aye, they were
start.
actually
Carry on.
quite good. They deserved the
Whatever.
result.
But
There is the
pleasantly
one
surprised.
time we will speak about the English Premier League out with Newcastle this season.
I do apologise.
I was not a fan. I didn't understand the decision in like the most important game of the season thus far, in my opinion, to play a formation we have not played yet. I know it's similar. I know it's not a world away from what we have been playing, but it is still different. And listen, I'm not really going to. My stance on all of this is everybody keep calm. There's going to be bumps in this road. But criticism is still deserved. But I'll be honest, I'm going to be less critical of McInnes than I would have been because he seemed very aware of the problems.
Yeah, he
And
did. That was refreshing, to be fair.
yeah, and was very. He took it on himself to be like, yeah, I probably put too many of the new guys in from the start. And the big thing for me, but I don't think this is exactly cutting edge analysis from me, St Mirren are big athletic guys. That's their main
one way
thing.
of putting it, yes.
Yes. To be polite, that is their thing. So, for me, you always have to flood the midfield. McInnes said playing the 3-4-3 was designed to have McEntee and Milne involved in the midfield because they would invert, and as a result, you combat it. But what actually ended up turning out, I have two issues with that. One, you still don't flood the midfield because they also played a 3-5-2, so they've still got five.
As they have pretty much under Stephen Robinson for the past
for the entire time,
4 or 5 years, however long he's been in the post.
So if our fullback or wing backs do invert, their wing backs will also invert. They're not just going to go, well, we're just going to be out wide the whole time, inexplicably. So then that's 5v4 instead of what it turned out to be is 3v2 because our wing backs did not invert. They just didn't. McEntee would occasionally drift inside, but often him and Kabore just kept getting in each other's way. And what was going on? This is immediate. I did not expect to immediately be like in-depth tactical analysis of the game. But
the floor is yours.
Particularly in that first half, particularly on the right-hand side with McEntee and Kabore, is that whenever either one of them would get it, the left wing back was there covering, the left centre half was there covering, the left centre mid for St Mirren was covering, and the middle midfielder would come and move across. So it was essentially a 4v2 whenever we got out to the right-hand side. So we're probably going to speak about it, there is understandable criticism of Kabore's debut and McEntee's performance. But I do think an element of it is, what were they supposed to do? Because they were pretty much hung out to dry, and that is on McInnes. We will get into individual players that perform badly, that kind of regardless of positions or regardless of formation, they still didn't match up. But there was too many new players, in my opinion, who don't quite know the system yet. The system itself didn't work, and we should have either done a flat back four or a 3-5-2. And thirdly, to speak about an individual and kind of going against what I just said, Jesus, it's worrying signs for Magnussen. I'm not going to write him off, obviously, because I think, honestly, one of the hardest away days in this league is going to be away at Paisley, just because it is that horrible midfield in the middle, the angriest stand in the whole of football, never mind just Scottish football, who will appeal for everything. But good God, he looked so out his depth. Like, he was just getting flung around. I understand that a caveat to that is that in 3 minutes he gets booked. So it means that he can't be kind of what you would imagine he was told to be, a more tough tackling, energetic, in-your-face midfielder. But it wasn't just that he wasn't doing that. It was like, I have forgot you are playing.
Yeah, the fact that he didn't receive a second booking as well, I think we can count ourselves pretty fortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so overall, I wasn't happy with the team selection.
No, that was a concern for me. I agree with you. I think that is the deepest of deep waters to throw him in right at the start.
So that's what I mean. Not writing him off. I fully expect him to have fantastic games for Hearts, and
I hope that's the case.
Yeah. All it is that so far, mate, you're not. That wasn't the best first impression.
No, and I don't think it was of Kabore either. I also think the adamant nature of selecting Oisin McEntee as a right wing back when we've seen that.
Yeah, he can't do that as well.
No. In the quartet of League Cup games, we've seen it time to time. For me, he's so much better in the middle of the park because he and Cammy Devlin are two complete dogs. I think I dubbed them an episode or two ago. And ultimately, they'd have been two selections that I would have made straight away for heading into this game. Whereas you say you're up against the land of the giants at the back, hammer throwers in midfield, and a football team that aren't really a football team. They're a gang that want a scrap, and you've got to ensure that you're up for the scrap. So I think Derek McInnes was right in what he said post-match, that it was one too many new bodies, and that it was just a very, I don't know, it was bizarre for me because we always look at this as, despite our horrific record in this competition, as one of two trophies that we can realistically win. As you say, you deemed it our biggest match of the season. To me, it's probably on a par with Aberdeen in that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So I was very surprised to see the team quite so experimental, for want of a better word.
And yeah, I agree, definitely. But also just like the players didn't seem up for it. And I said this after the game. It had not worried me in the previous two games, but it was something I was aware of. But now it's starting to be a worry for me that I think in 3 games we have had at least 20 minutes of playing actively poorly. Because against Aberdeen, I think the middle 20 we weren't at it. but we're lucky that Aberdeen are shit. Dundee United, I would say the entirety of the first half, I didn't think we were really at it. Up until we equalised, and then we kicked on. And I would say for 75 minutes out of 120, we were not at it at the weekend. And that's now starting to worry me a bit, where it's like, what is going on? And I know I'm not saying for 90 minutes I need us to be flawless. For 90 minutes, I'd like us to.
It would be great if you.
Oh,
could
it would be
flawless.
amazing. But for 90 minutes, I'd like us to look at least competent. And I feel like for the majority of that game on Saturday, we didn't at all. And I know McInnes and a lot of people are saying like, yeah, but we didn't really look like in danger of conceding anything from like the second half onwards. And whilst I agree with that, I think partly that was, again, it's what Goodwin did with Dundee United. I think it was partly by design for St Mirren to let us have the ball.
100%. Because they're well organised. They're defensively, they are a good unit.
Yeah.
They're difficult to break down. Our weekend opponents, Motherwell, found that out because I think they had something like 70% of the ball in Paisley, and ultimately it ended as a goalless stalemate. So I do agree. I also think their plan is very much to take the lead and sit on it, protect it, do as best you can in terms of just, again, game management. That is something that Stephen Robertson seems to specialise in, particularly with St Mirren. It's fair to say that the new boys and their teammates took some time to adjust. St Mirren definitely enjoying the better of the opening exchanges in Paisley. First chance comes in 12 minutes. Marcus Fraser just hooks a high ball forward, which Frankie Kent headers into Jonah Ayunga's path. He looks to find his strike partner, Mikael Mandron. Craig Halkett heads on the pass before Mandron then kind of looks to test Clark at his near post. Halkett eventually getting back and heading behind for a buddy's corner, but just so. I mean, the one thing I've said that they're not. I don't think they're the best football team. I think they're big, they're physical, they make it a scrap. But ultimately, you cannot be conceded possession as cheaply as that.
What is Kent doing with that header? Why on earth? You're taught as a child, do not head it back across your own box. It's a bizarre decision. Well, I know he's under pressure, but there's literally like 30 more options that you could head that ball in, and he picks the worst one.
Even if it's up in the sky to kind of buy yourself some time or your teammates time. Frankie Kent used to do that all the time, whereas now it seems like he's desperate to find a teammate with a header at every available opportunity, when sometimes it's not even on. It could be just a hospital, I was going to say a hospital pass, but a hospital header into somebody.
Yeah. Obviously, this is not the worst offence Frankie Kent commits in this game. We will get to that. But now, every single time I watch Frankie Kent, I just get nervous. I'm like, you're going to do something wrong here. You're going to make a pass that's errant and it leads to something. You're going to make a challenge that's wrong. You're going to make a header that's stupid. Your positioning's going to be off.
It's not a complete 180 from when he first arrived at the club, because he was probably the one kind of safe and secure point, where now, like...
I think we've now just leveled up, though. I know it's a weird thing to say after we've been knocked out in the tie, but like Finlay is clearly better than them. Halkett is clearly better than them. I would say McCart is clearly better than them.
Steinvender as well, possibly.
I think Steinvender has far more like adaptable qualities than Kent.
And I also think it's probably harsh to compare the two at centre half, because Steinvender just seems to be filling in at right wing back.
Yeah, exactly. So. And there's a slight caveat to go back to team selection. Steinvender's been quite good whenever he's played at right back. So I don't understand why it's like, if you want to play a 4, but also Forrester came back and he wasn't even in the squad.
Oh, no, not even in the squad, which is bizarre. Really odd. Really, really strange. I don't know. I mean, we have to be announcing a right back, surely.
We're not. We're announcing another position, as we've found out in the last couple of hours as we record this, but it's not going to be right back.
It's going to be some attacker, is it?
No. Oh, you've not seen the news. Right, ladies and gentlemen.
I was doing the prep for this. Give us a break.
Well, it's in relation to what it's affected my... Let's just jump forward a wee bit. It's affected my team selection for Motherwell.
Oh dear.
Because I was going to be dropping Xander Clark for very obvious reasons.
Oh
But
God,
Ryan Fulton's
that
torn
it?
his groin and is out for 5 months.
Oh,
So
smashing.
we're
So
having to
that'll be
sign
why
a
we were linked
goalie.
to that Everton goalkeeper that
Tyler Summon.
I thought was Harry Tyler or
Harry
something. Harry
Dickhead.
Tyler.
Yes, that's what I thought it was Tyler. Yeah,
Harry
that. The
Tyler, I think.
Everton
He was
guy.
he was on he was on the bench for Everton last night as we record at Ellen
Yeah.
Road. So
So yeah, Ryan Fulton's pulled like torn his groin and is
that's
out for
great.
months. So we
That's
literally have Xander Clark currently, and honestly, I'd argue you a game now. So
oh no, you
yeah,
wouldn't. Trust
let's
me, you
get it.
wouldn't.
I think currently it wouldn't be that much a change.
Oh dear. Thankfully, I won't be playing in goal for Hearts this weekend. Um, and I want to touch on the three in front though, because we've obviously spoken about Frankie Kent. Um, a poor touch from Stuart Findlay sees the ball arrive at the feet of Killian
This was
Phillips.
his worst
25,
game, I will say.
25 minutes in. The Irishman has a pop from range, but Clark dives down to his right to parry before Oisin McEntee diverts behind, with Mikael Mandron looking to pounce on the
Catch the
rebound.
ball, Xander. Catch the ball.
I don't think that's a catchable one. I'm more concerned about the pure touch from Finlay. Have we overbaked Stuart Finlay's cake and built him up to such a degree that now he's going to be shite because no matter how good he performs, he will never be as good as Tannadice Stuart Finlay? Or what's the
No,
script here?
I think he's not had a bad game yet for us, and it just coincidentally came then. Maybe the Clark one isn't catchable. My point is, I absolutely hate how Clark parries shots because he just parries them directly in front of him, which is like the most dangerous area to parry a shot.
Um, I can't disagree. On 30 minutes, we would actually have a rare opportunity. Of course, from set piece. Harry Milne's corner kick
Oh
is
yeah,
met by Craig Halkett's head, but despite scoring against St Mirren in Paisley last season, I think it was actually Stephen Naismith's last game in charge, if
yeah,
memory serves me.
Jesus, aye.
He couldn't repeat the trick on this occasion. I'm gonna lay my cards on the table here. You spoke about your concerns earlier. I'm very concerned by how little, not necessarily that we create through open play, but how little we've scored via open play thus far.
I don't even
With
think we create from open play.
no, oh, I
It's really
mean,
bad.
it,
It's
it seems
really
like
bad.
it seems like we're hoping for a corner and just hoping that one of our big three noggins at the back will get on the other end of it.
And again, to caveat all of this with we've got 9 signings trying to ingratiate themselves within a squad. We are 3 games in to the season. I understand that stuff takes time. So that's why I'm not like, it's alarm bells. I just think, as you say, a good way of describing it is a slight worry is that we are creating so little from open play. And it's fine when we're scoring so many goals from set pieces, but when that suddenly dries up, a quick thing, by
Which
the
it
way,
which it will.
I don't understand. Well, it did in this game
I mean, it didn't here, but
to an extent.
put it this way: we've been waiting for 20 years for Hearts to get competent from set pieces. It's been going too well recently
Yeah.
that we're not banking on this for the foreseeable.
I don't understand why we started playing lofted balls into the box, though, by the way. Like, all our goals have come from whipped balls in, and suddenly Ross Grant
Food
was like,
and drink.
I'm changing it up. I'm changing it up,
Marcus
lads.
Fraser, Alex Gogic, the boy Freckleton, Richard
Yeah.
King that came on. That is their idea of heaven.
The one goal we score is from a whipped cross in. Like, it was Ross Grant like, let's just make this hard. For the first 70 minutes, we're not allowed to whip a ball in. We have to loft them all. Just float them onto the top of the heads of the centre halves. Bizarre.
Very bizarre. And speaking of lofted balls, it was to be the hosts that would break the deadlock on 33 minutes. A poor pass out from Frankie Kent lands at Keanu Bax's feet, and he's taken down by his compatriot Cammy Devlin. Killian Phillips opts to slide the resulting free kick out towards Declan John, who is a left back by trade on the right hand side. Wonder what's going to happen here. He cuts back onto his left foot. The Welshman centres for Alex Gogic to acrobatically smash past Sander Clark. St Mirren 1, Heart of Midlothian 0, and if I'm entirely honest, that had been coming.
Yeah, definitely. They deserve. I will say this, like, I know that a lot of Hearts fans will go, St Mirren didn't deserve to go through because for the large swathes of the game, we were in total control. But as I say, I kind of think that was by design. And they were more up for it. They created better chances and they scored their penalties. So I will say maybe this is coming a bit too late for any potential St Mirren fans who wanted to listen at the start of this. But I give full credit to them. They're a very hard working side, and I do think they deserved the result to go through.
Second.
Actually, shockingly, I'm not really blaming Xander Clark for this because I think it's by the
Oh,
time it gets to
Jesus,
him,
he's got
it's like
no chance.
I saw some people blame him and say he should have done better. I think that's harsh.
I'm not having that in a million years. I mean, Gogic is he literally smashes it at him
Yeah,
from
from
like
yards.
yards out. Yeah.
The people that should be criticised are Lauren Shankland for just going, I'm going to pretend to mark Gogic as the ball's played, and then as soon as it's played, go, nah, I can't be arsed doing that anymore, actually, so I'll just let him go. But, Frank, I do not understand what Frankie Kent is doing. He is looking, because he's that fucking deep, at his entire team ahead of him, holding a line, and it's not even like, oh, he's a foot behind, so Gogic finds the space and he's done really well. Kent feels like 10 yards behind the rest of the team. So as a result, Gogic can just kind of walk and like fall backwards into an overhead kick. It's inexcusable. I've been saying he should be dropped for a while now. If he's not dropped for Motherwell, I don't think he could ever be dropped now. He just never will. He'll just play every game.
It's like, when you see these agendas online, like I see it with Rangers fans and Kieran Dowell all the time, where
Yeah.
people then they try and reach a conclusion as to why Kieran Dowell was in the team, and people go, "Oh well, he's obviously got illegal pictures of Barry Ferguson or Russell Martin or whoever."
Yeah.
But any ideas to what Frankie Kent says? What
I think
is
it's that he fit the
his reasoning?
profile. The profile of him fits a Derek McInnes centre half, but it's flying in the face of all the evidence of him this season. If I'm Steinvender sat on the bench, I'm livid that the only game time I'm getting is filling in out of position when Kent is every single week at fault for goals and is still starting games.
Two of Frankie Kent's teammates combined last week, and they look to do so again for Hearts' second opportunity of the first half. No surprise, it comes from yet again another corner kick. Alexandros Kizaridis looking to meet Stuart Finlay, just as was the case against Dundee United the week prior. However, the Kelly Cannavaro can only head over the crossbar this time. Um, just a really flat, uninspiring, and frankly dull first half performance, really, particularly in an offensive sense.
Um, you've teed this up for me perfectly. We haven't mentioned them yet, but I think that half was the best PR possible for Claudio Braga because it felt
Agreed.
like you just noticed we're a different team without him. I know what happens, right, at the end of the game,
But I
but
agree with you, mate. If fit and available, he has to start every week for me.
and when he came on, we looked a far better team with him playing.
Completely agree. Completely agree. Because it's not even like it would be enough if he was making a nuisance of himself and was a pest to opposition defenders and bringing others into play. But he tries stuff. Like he tries taking on people. He tries
Yeah,
creating space for his teammates. Um, don't get me wrong. There's instances where he shoots, and sometimes that's maybe not the best option. But he's not afraid to have a pop.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't get the omission, and particularly in the week where the club had kind of released that clip of him
yeah.
cutting hair, and there was the sit down interview where they were reflecting on his start and whatever.
And just now he
Um,
is the fan favourite out with Finlay.
Not just because of his fantastic song,
Yeah.
but
But even if it is just because of his song, you keep that in the team.
yeah, the feel good factor and whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was bad at all against Dundee United. Really, I mean,
He
I
created
could
our only chance out with the penalty in the first half.
and I can think of an instance where he's upset with a header that he has, like
Yeah.
off the top of my head. But yeah, strange omission. But to be fair, Derek McInnes recognised that, and at half time, a triple change was made. Tobias Bent Magnuson, Alexandros Kizavidis, and Pierre Landry Cabore off for Benny Beningame. Elton Cabangu and the aforementioned Claudio Braga to come on. You know that a manager's made a mess of a starting 11 when they're resorting desperately to three changes at the interval. Um, I was kind of disappointed to see Kizarides come off because I quite like him, but the other two, again, we've mentioned it at the start, thrown in at the deep end. You perhaps weren't quite as gutted to see Kizarides come off, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so in the moment, I was like, listen, he's not having a good game, just get him off. But in hindsight, I think it was the wrong move because what I assumed when he came off was that a formation change was coming. So I was like, right, okay, yeah, listen, Kizarides has to be sacrificed because we're going to change shape. But we then didn't. So it meant that McEntee was still chucked out on the right hand side. And I'm saying this now. I never again want to see a midfield two of Benny and Devlin. Ever again. I can't see.
We've moved past that as well a wee bit,
We've
haven't
moved
we?
past this, and we're getting to a point in games where we're moving past Benny Beningame because
Wow.
this this was like prime my issues with Benny in a game because every time he got the ball, he stopped, he stood up, and he passed it off and did nothing with it. There was like one instance I remember where he ran forward,
I
but it
thought
was
Devlin was culpable of that first half as well, to be fair.
yes, absolutely. It was like going back to Devlin in the past couple of years where he wasn't doing what he's been
Yeah.
doing. But in the second half and in the extra time, he was the Derek McInnes, Cammy Devlin, where he was getting it, turning and going. Benny is so static as a player in terms of what it means for the team. Yes, he himself is energetic. He does that thing where like he keeps the ball
He
and
vaults
goes
and he
past kind of thing.
slaloms
Yeah.
and yeah.
But even then, he was caught and tackled multiple times on Saturday and St
Do you
Mirren
think that's a
broke as a
fitness thing?
result. Maybe, but again, I would then say, well, then don't play him because this is not the game
Yeah.
for him. I would have brought
I mean,
Steinvender
Callum
on.
Neuenhof's another that must be thinking, what the hell have I got to do
Yes,
to be given a chance?
exactly. I
I
thought
think
the
I think writing
subs,
could be on the wall for him and Sander Khartoum and whoever else.
Neuenhoff,
Sorry.
I'm gutted about. If you're right, I'm gutted about Neuenhoff because I think he's what we miss. We miss a midfielder who will just take it and drive. So,
I
and
like
again,
Verhoff. It's another weird
I know, I
situation.
don't understand it. Do not take this as me saying Benny Bedingame is a shit footballer. He obviously, objectively, is not. He's clearly, arguably, our best, like, on the ball technical player.
I was surprised at that, but now you've explained yourself, I can see what you mean. In this scenario,
Yeah, that is, it
that
is
wasn't what we
not
needed.
there are
No.
times where Benny Beningame will run games himself, right? Where you
Horses
just
for
go,
courses, isn't it? That's what
yes,
we're still trying to
we do
work
not
this
need
out.
Benny Beningame. The problem wasn't that we weren't getting enough of the ball. We had all the ball. We just
Yeah.
weren't doing anything with
It's
it.
it's somebody to play that killer pass or get
Yeah.
us up the park, and if that's through the wing backs, and again, I hate to say it because he's been fantastic for us so far, far beyond my expectations. But playing it out to Oisin McEntee on that right hand side is not it. To
Yeah.
Harry Milne on the left all day, but McEntee should be one of those three in the middle if you're so insistent on playing a 3-5-2 for me.
I thought when Kizaridis was coming off, Steinvender would come on, Steinvender would go to the right, McEntee would go into the middle, and would then push forward as we have done in recent weeks. But we just didn't.
No, and St Mirren had the bit between their teeth right at the start of the second half. They come out the traps flying. Killian Phillips, who proved a pest in the last meeting between the two teams at Tynecastle, if I remember rightly. He was sent off, wasn't he? And then it was
Yeah.
downgraded to a yellow.
Because he was
Absolute
it
hammer thrower.
who was it that he elbowed in the head?
I want to say it was Devlin, but I'm not
It might have
sure.
been Devlin, yeah, I think it
Um,
was.
he smashes one from range here, which Clark dives to his left to divert behind the post. That was actually a good save
That was a good
after
save.
some nice initial build-up play from the buddies. Um, but from there on in, it was pretty much all hearts, as you've rightly said earlier on. Lauren Shankland has a few opportunities in quick succession. The better coming from a Harry Milne cross, but he heads straight into the grateful clutch of Shamal George in the Saints goal. Wasn't Shankland's day. at all, was it?
No.
I mean, even trying to get him involved was a real issue at the weekend.
He grew into the game, I felt,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was just. I
You're
think
only
it's
as good as the service that you receive, though, as a centre
yes,
forward, aren't you?
definitely. But I do think this again was kind of like I found this game quite interesting in that it gave me a lot of realizations about the squad that I previously didn't. I think now Shankland really needs a partner. Like really needs.
Yeah.
I've always felt he kind of has because he's never been the fastest. But as soon as Braga came on, he looked better for it because he had someone to do all his busy work, basically.
Yeah, it's quite weird that obviously his first season he had Josh Ginnelly. Then the season before last, where he was outstanding, he had like I was going to say a plethora of players up in support. Sometimes it'd be Forrest, other points it'd be
Yeah.
Vargas, but he was obviously the main man. Last season, again, a lot of pressure kind of put on him because Musa Drama certainly wasn't the answer. Um, and others kind of fell away in terms of their supporting acts. So, yeah, to me, Shankland and Braga all day.
Yes, easily. Um, I just.
But then I wonder where like we haven't really spoken about Kabori either because to me, I mean everybody seems to think that he's a centre forward. He was ushered out on the right here, and bar clattering into Shamal George, I think 10 minutes in,
Mhm.
didn't do, didn't do a great deal. I mean he was booed every time thereafter by the angriest stand of all time.
Yeah.
Any touch of the ball that he did get, but very very quiet considering the hype and the kind of build up surrounding him as well.
As I say, I think a massive part of that was like it's your first touch and taste of Scottish football, and it's this. Like absolute hell. And he was
Welcome to
doubled up on
hell.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like for example, I'd be interested to see what he's like at home. Against
Yeah.
anybody really. Like, but just generally at home, see what we can do. Say if just the dream scenario is we start with Shanklin and Braga on Saturday, we go a couple goals up, and it's like, right, half an
Yeah.
hour, Kabori,
100%.
go for it, mate. Just
Yeah.
see what you can
The
do.
floor is yours. Here's your
Yeah,
audition. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. We can all forget about everybody wants to forget about Paisley as a place anyway, so it's fine. We can just put that out of our heads.
I mentioned Oisin McAtee, but he actually did get the better of Scott Tanser down the right hand side on 63
Yeah,
minutes. The wing backs looking to link up, but Harry Milne couldn't quite connect with his cross. I love Harry Milne though, just how desperate he is to constantly get forward, the engine that he's got on him. Oh, a real joy to watch, and it's fantastic that despite our struggles on the right hand side, the left back hasn't been an issue
yeah,
for as long as we can recall now, a good 5, 6 years at the
yeah.
club,
It's
from
wild.
Milne to Penrice to Cochrane to Kingsley or whoever. Um, we mentioned Claudio Braga. All we needed was him in this game. 67 minutes, he decides to take matters into his own hands, pinching the ball off Lawrence Shankland before he twists, he turns, um, strikes at goal, but Shamal George responds to the Portuguese's effort. But the annoying one for me is on 72 minutes where Stuart Finlay, Cammy Devlin, Lauren Shankland are all exchanging passes. He gets the ball on the left hand side, decides to cut in and shoot, and George just kind of parries up and into the air. That's one where I'm thinking maybe the shot wasn't really on. Like,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, I'm one of them that will happily see Hearts sometimes just have a pop from range. If it's against a goalkeeper I don't particularly rate because I don't think we've done it enough for a good few years anyway. I just feel like here it would have had to have been an absolute wonder goal to score. That wasn't what we got from Claudio Braga's right boot.
yeah. And again, I guess an aspect of it is he'd only been on for like 20, 25 minutes. So if he's been on for an hour, he's maybe more aware of the game. So he goes, right, okay, I'm not going
Yeah.
to get away with that. So, Derek, start him on Saturday, please.
um, but time was running out in Renfrewshire. Craig Halkett went off. Alan Forrest coming on. Halkett gone through the wars in this game. Can I just say? I thought
How was that no penalty, actually? Can we
I
speak about
no,
that?
no idea. Again, the Hearts didn't even include it in the highlights, so that's how I
You got
forgot all about it.
studied in the eye, basically, in the box. It was just
Thankfully,
like,
he's
yeah,
all
you're
right.
fine.
McGuinness
Yeah.
seemed to confirm that he was a-okay in the post match. But considering I've been annoyed with Craig Halkett's conduct, I think recently. I thought he was magnificent first half, by far and away our best player.
Yeah.
Um,
He is the
but
main guy that gets pass marks for me for that
yeah,
performance. Him and Braga are like the two
yes.
clear standouts for that performance.
But on 78 minutes, the Jambos would eventually haul themselves level through what else but a set piece. An in swinging Harry Milne corner. Eventually, the wing backs have combined. It was headed home by Oisin McEntee. In front of the strong away support, the Jambos equalised. St Mirren 1, Heart of Midlothian 1.
I was buzzing for him because I think he's been class since he joined. I
He
wish
was
it was.
buzzed as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, you can tell. It's just like,
Yeah.
fuck your advertising boards. I'm leaping these. I think it would have been better for him if he could maybe enjoy the goal a bit more, considering the
Yes,
result. Like, nobody will now ever talk about it, but I hope it's the first of many.
absolutely. Actually, a good header as well.
It
And
is a good
another
header,
that's
yeah.
back across the goalkeeper, rather than trying to catch him out with the near post or what have you. Even the run, like, he goes very deep. Or
Yeah, he
rather,
does,
the
aye.
cross from Milne is deep,
Yeah.
and it's in an area where you'd sort of expect somebody to be there from a St Mirren perspective, but
Yeah.
there's really well to guide it back across George and into the net. So
Does
um,
anything else happen from now until penalties?
that's literally what I was about to say. I mean, obviously it ends one each after the 90 minutes. Not many opportunities arise in extra time. Michael Steinfender, who came on, crosses for Braga to head into George's gloves once again. And Stephen Kingsley also bends a free kick narrowly over the
Oh, I
crossbar
remember
to
that, yeah.
the Hearts fans. But just like in the Scottish Cup last season, it ends in a one each draw between the teams with penalty kicks deciding their fate. I don't think McIver we can really have any complaints with getting depends over the piece. We
No,
didn't
definitely
didn't
not.
do enough offensively, um, and then it was very much a lottery from here on in.
As soon as I saw that Shankland won both the toss to pick ends and toss to decide who goes first, I went, we're fucking lost here. You don't win both of them and then win the shootout. No chance.
I was wondering where you were going with that. I was going to say I would have thought they would both be two big advantages, but
No, there's
clearly
no way
not.
you get you do all three of them. And also I was thinking, there is no way you end up winning back-to-back penalty shootouts against the same team at the same ground. There's no chance we do that. And we didn't!
Despite a few different takers. I mean, Lawrence Shankland scores initially. Richard King equalises for St Mirren. Stephen Kingsley then scores his. Marcus Fraser equalises for the Buddies. Claudio Braga then has his effort saved for Hearts. Roland Adowu gives St Mirren the lead as a result. Alan Forrest keeps Hearts in it. Evan Mooney puts Saints on the brink. Benny Beningame does his best to keep Hearts in the tie, but with the chance to win it. Malik Dykesteel scores with the decisive penalty to secure a Saints clean sweep. 5-4, they prevail on penalties. And as we've seen all too often in the past, Heart and Midlothian crash out of the Scottish League Cup.
I will almost never, ever criticise a goalkeeper when it comes to penalties. Because it's like you've basically got no chance. Like what is
I
a
sense a
penalty?
but coming here.
Yeah. What is a penalty in XG? Like 7.7 or something. It's something ridiculous.
Absolutely no idea, mate.
Something obscene where it's just basically like, this is a goal. Can you maybe get a bit lucky and do it? Now, if we had Craig Gordon in goals, we'd have been fine because Craig Gordon has never gone through a penalty shootout in his life without saving at least one penalty. So we would have been fine.
Great start.
Thank you. But that first penalty should be saved.
The one from King.
Yep. It just goes under Clark. I thought it was bad at the time. Then St Mirren uploaded goal footage from behind the goal, and it is terrible. He dives over it. It goes between the gap of his body and his arm. It's inexcusable. What are you? So bad. I
Is that
turned
the
off.
worst penalty of the shootout? Because I actually thought,
Yeah.
aside from that, it was a fairly decent.
Yeah, because Braga's
standard.
penalty, I think, is actually all right. George just does well to save it.
I think it's a decent height for the goalkeeper.
True.
If he sent George the wrong way, then it's a good pen.
Yeah.
Because it's right in the corner or
True.
whatever.
But yeah, that is the thing. He has to get down. I'll be honest, turned it off after Braga missed the penalty because I just fucking knew writing was on the wall at that point. I have seen the penalty since. Benny, why have you never just done that in a game? Why can you do it from the spot? Like, what are you doing?
Just think Benny Beningame on pens from now on.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I love him.
Listen,
I would love to see. I would love to celebrate more Benny goals.
same.
Literally,
That would
I've
be
only
great.
celebrated tackles that have
Yeah,
somehow like ended
exactly.
up in the net. So
That is very true. I know that people are going to misconstrue that I now hate Benny Bedingame, but that is
yeah,
not the case
I
at
don't know why
all.
you said that.
Yeah, I know.
As we'll stress, I think with the title, horses for courses. Benny
Yes.
Beningame on Saturday wasn't necessarily the answer. I miss you,
Yes.
Callum Newhoff. Where are
I
you?
miss you, Callum Newhoff, as well. I couldn't be too angry at the result because I didn't think we deserved to go through. It is just a bump in the road. It's not the end of the world. We shouldn't now be calling for mass overhaul or
No,
anything like
definitely not.
that. We're just, it's the cursed competition. But
That's also a good title. I like
yeah,
that.
true. But it was a kick in the teeth. And obviously, as we predicted, as every Hearts fan predicted, as soon as Hearts lose a game, it's, oh, well, how's the analytics working out for you now? How's the
I'm del
supercomputer working out?
I'm delighted you brought this up.
As if
Like
we were never going to lose a game of football ever
exactly.
again.
USG didn't just win the Belgium league undefeated. Like Brighton get beat all the time. I was raging because I took them in, as the last man standing at the weekend, and before you know it, I see Paul Merson going, "Oh well, there's not another goal in this game," and then
And
bang,
then
a couple of minutes later,
97th
Fulham
minute.
equalise.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, thanks, Merce. I cannot. Is everybody's just desperate? I feel like we just live in a. I think Scotland's particularly bad for it. We live in a society where people are desperate to see others fail. Like, absolutely cannot wait
Yeah.
to bring them down at any available opportunity. And in a week where we've seen Sky Stout sign for Kilmarnock women, and Kilmarnock have to delete the post because of the abuse that she
Did you
faces.
see the free kick she scored, by the
A
way?
banger, by the
It's
way.
a class. Fucking fair play to her. I was so chuffed
I
to
love
see
that for
that.
her. But I mean, like, what is it? Like, why at the minute is
Can I
everybody
just
just
say,
desperate to tear every single other person down? I struggle to understand that or comprehend it. I can't get my nut round it at all.
I don't mind like Hibs fans having a laugh about it, with the
Yeah,
overly like with the really over the top making a joke, being like, "Oh well, that's the future Champions League winners out the cup" or something like that.
exactly. Like some of them are funny. Don't
But
get
it's
me
the
wrong.
people who are actually like, "Oh well, you should get James to." Oh yeah, how did that work out for you? It's like,
Yeah.
have you seen the league, guys? Like, see this, see the run we've been in. That's because of Jamestown.
Yeah, if only we had something where we could determine how decent teams have performed over the course of a season.
Yeah,
If only
exactly.
there was something that we could measure that over 38 games. I mean, that would really help, wouldn't
What a
it?
novelty that would be.
Like, honestly, like, I don't understand it. People are just desperate to see Hearts get beat.
Because
Like,
it's
to
also
me,
like I saw
the
Scarves
weekend
did the
confirmed
funny
one.
thing where
They
it was
could,
like
yeah,
I
the
saw,
treble god.
yeah,
And then
that was
everybody jumps
funny.
on it. Yeah, exactly. That's the way to take it. But then
Yeah,
people are like, oh, well, the analytics won't be delivering a treble. It's like, no. Like, there's two ways to look at it. It's how much everybody hates Hearts and how much everybody else is envious of Hearts using Jamestown Analytics. They were the two kind of major things for me
aye,
that arose
definitely.
over the weekend as a result of us losing on penalties to St Mirren to crash out the League Cup.
If we win something in the next 5 years,
Oh, we're
it's
going to be
good.
hated.
Like the anger is going to be unbelievable.
It's going to be great. I really hope we do.
League
Just
Cup next
aesthetically,
year. Come
everything.
on.
64 years and counting, baby.
Yeah.
Touching on the League Cup, the draw was then made. Not that anybody will care because we're out. Ties to be played the weekend of September the 20th include Aberdeen versus Motherwell at Pittodrie, Kilmarnock versus St Mirren at Rugby Park. Kind of hope St Mirren go on and I was going to say win it. Do I
Win the
really believe that?
competition.
I mean, going out to the eventual winners isn't so bad. What a result for Partick Thistle as the only remaining Scottish Championship side as they host Celtic at Firhill.
Yeah.
And Rangers, of course, take on Hibernian at Ibrox, as we touched on. Do not fucking let this be a repeat of 2016, or
Come
I
on,
will
Russell
start shitting
Martin.
my pants. Yeah, come on, Russ. Get the fucking finger out. However, McIver, that's now behind us. two competitions to focus on this season, so that could prove a blessing. It's not really. This weekend, Motherwell head to Tynecastle to take on the table toppers. The Steelmen are one of three teams, alongside Rangers and Kilmarnock, to have drawn both of their Scottish Premiership matches thus far. An opening day draw against the Gers at Fir Park was succeeded by a goalless stalemate away to St Mirren, like I mentioned. What are we thinking ahead of Saturday afternoon's matchup? Because from what I've seen of the Well, they actually look pretty decent.
Play 4-4-2.
Oh, I like it. Ditching the back three is bold
Ditch
from
the
you. I
back
don't like
three
it.
because of the right wing back situation.
Go on
Unless he
then,
plays Forrester.
I was going to say, just name your teams. Or we'll name
Depressingly,
our teams.
Clark in goals.
Because you've got nobody else.
Yes. Steinvender, Halkett, Finlay, Milne.
I agree. I'm happy with that.
Kerjota, McEntee,
Ooh,
Devlin, Kizaridis, Braga, Shankland.
interesting. I quite like the Kurjota shout. Because he looked
It's him
alright
or
when he came off the
Kabori.
bench at Tannadice. I was going to say bring Alan Forrest back
Yeah,
in. That
I wouldn't
that
be
wild.
bothered at all if Alan Forrest came back
I
in.
I can't like I think the
I
criticism
can't
Alan
bring
Forrest
myself to
gets
hate
is
him.
no, exactly. I think the criticism that he gets is over the top. I think he tries his best. He might not be technically our best player, but you can't fault his effort.
Nah.
And considering some of the other numpties that have
He's
filled
also
in,
a winger that wants to get to the touchline and cross a ball in.
exactly. So if you're playing Kizaridis and him, I think they would complement each other quite well, actually. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. McAtee, Devlin, Braga, and Shankland. You said, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'd go with. Yeah. Score prediction.
2 each. The draws continue.
Oh,
I think it's going to be
wow.
a bit more lively than it
A
has been for
Desmond.
Motherwell.
Desmond
A
Tutu.
wee Desmond, but I just think Motherwell do look good.
We are going to concede.
Yeah. I hope I'm wrong. Like, I hope it's 4-1. I mean, I hope it's 4-0. But we are going to concede. So I hope we just run out comfortable winners, but I can't see it.
I really hope that we just score from open play. That's all I want.
I know, what a novelty that would be.
To prove that we can do it, I will optimistically say 2-1, although I wouldn't be surprised at a 1 each. I'd be really disappointed with the Desmond. Yeah, I'll go 2-1.
That's fair. Very fair.
So fingers crossed that we can bounce back, make it 3 wins from 3. That would be very nice. But before we
Imagine
go,
that. Imagine 3 wins for 3 in the league. What a novelty.
let's go back to winning and
Who
the
gives a
feel good
shit about this
factor.
competition? We're never going to win again.
Exactly. I mean,
The league's the one we're wanting to win, so let's just do that. It's fine.
yeah. Before we go, we've got the end is near quiz. You have two multiple choices, a
Oh,
true or
God.
false, a normal question, and the coveted famous "Who am I?" You're not gonna
Fucking
like the
hell.
no. It's not that anything's particularly bad. I think the questions are all right. But I'm basically hammering home your belief that we will never win this competition by
Okay.
speculating just how bad we are in it.
Right,
Your
cool.
first question is, and this is the kindest of the lot.
Oh, God.
There are only two Hearts managers to have taken charge of the Jambos in a League Cup final since they last won the League Cup back in 1962-63. Who are they?
Who was our manager in 2013? Was it McGlynn?
Oh dear God, this was meant to be the easy
Was
one.
it McGlynn or Locke? Or was it Sergio? No, Sergio wasn't still fucking here. I can't think. It wasn't Locke yet. Was it McGlynn? John McGlynn?
Incorrect.
Fuck, who was it? Well, I'm not going to get the other end, so who was it?
John McGlynn was up until the final before Gary Locke took charge.
Fuck off! So I knew. I literally got the two.
No, it's obvious. It was a wee bit before our time. Not, well, I say a wee bit,
Jeffries.
like a couple, yeah, Jim Jeffries, 95, 96.
Right.
Sorry, 96, 97. And Locke in 2012-13. I thought that was a gimme.
I
Question number
didn't
two.
pay attention. At that time, I just rocked up to Hampden. We won games, we won trophies, and I fucked off. I never had to pay attention who was in the dugout. It was just like, it doesn't matter.
It's a fair point. A monkey in a suit was essentially leading us
Exactly.
in
It's like
notable
Hearts
case.
win trophies. That's what I think as a 13-year-old, 14-year-old. No, 2013 would have been 16. That's what I thought. I was just like, yeah, that's what we do.
Oh
Oh,
dear.
oh, this has happened, has it? Isma Goncalves. Right, cool.
Connor Newton and fucking Stephen Thompson. Every time I see him on sports team, it makes me sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was good
I
when
can't.
playing in that team or not?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Maybe that's
your
I
man
first
crush.
laid eyes on
Yeah.
him. That's what it
Although
was.
he had the baldy head then. He
That's
wasn't
why
like
I
the
was
Silver Fox.
distracted and didn't look at our dugout. I was like, who is this?
He wasn't the Silver Fox though.
True, he
So
wasn't. He was a skinhead mental case.
mental that that game was after the last time we won something. Like if you'd asked me, it feels like the 5-1 was far more recent than that.
I also thought Paul
I think
McCallum
that's
played in that game, but he didn't.
I think it's how you look positively. Paul McCallum, did you
I
say?
thought he played in that game, but he didn't.
I think did he not? I thought.
No, I don't
Oh
think
no,
he
it's Big
did.
Michael and Goo, wasn't it?
Yes, it
Yeah.
was. I keep thinking I always associate McCallum with that game, but he wasn't even fucking there.
And that strip, like oh, terrible.
Bad
Um,
vibes.
Still got one. Yeah, moving swiftly on. Question number two is one of your two multiple choices. How many managers have taken charge of HMFC since that October 1962 triumph?
Jesus
A.
Christ. 40 in the last 20
27,
years.
B. 28, C. 29, or D. 30?
29.
It's correct! How on earth did you get that?
Because this is my logic with you, and when we do questions like this, you never go the highest because that's the funniest. You never go the lowest because then it's what's the point in making that question? So it's a complete 50-50 between the two. And I was like, it's probably more. So 29, you're never getting me with a zero. It's never happening. Fuck your League Cup quiz. Fuck your Gary Lock options. That's the easy one.
Question
God.
number three. How many teams have won the League Cup more recently than we have? A. 12, B. 13, C. 14, D. 15.
Interestingly, 12 came into my head. So I'm going to just go 12. It doesn't fit my narrative of what I should do with Adam Kennedy multiple choices, but I have to be true to myself, I have to do it.
McIver, you should have relied on your narrative because
It was
that is
13.
incorrect. The answer is C. 14.
Well, you went C twice. That's right.
Yes,
That's out. See, that is out of the routine for you.
Pardon the pun.
Oh my God,
Yes.
I'm retiring. Bye.
Your true or false question. Derek McInnes will be the sixth different Hearts manager in the dugout for the last 6 times that Motherwell have come to Tynecastle.
Jesus. That cannot be true. 6. That cannot be true. Fox. McInnes,
Oh,
Fox.
nice. Let's hear your homework. Come on.
McInnes, Fox, Critchley, Naismith. Do you count Fox twice? Did we play Fox twice? Naismith. Was. Fuck it. It makes no sense to me, so I'm going true.
Bastard. It actually, bizarrely, is true.
Is it?
Can't
Who
believe
named
that.
them?
Scott messaged me Heart Stats because I said I've made up 4 of the 5 questions. I said, any chance that you've got a true or false? And he gave me one about Benny Beringilly, but I took it out because I, like you, refused to believe that this was true, but it is in fact true. Derek McInnes, as you rightly went back, Liam Fox, Neil Critchley, Stephen Naismith, Robbie Nielsen, however, between Nielsen and Naismith, Frankie McAvoy.
That's what I couldn't remember his surname. So I went
Yes.
in my head. I went Frank. Who's Frank?
Thomas Frank.
I didn't want to say that out loud because I didn't want to sound like an idiot. But considering I was right, I was like, maybe he's included in it.
Could not believe that when Scott sent that over. That's unbelievable, that bit.
Big Frankie McAvoy,
Frankie Max, Maroon and White Army.
who I couldn't
Yes.
remember even his full first name and thought he was just called Frank.
So, McIver, out of sheer luck and
Skill,
knowing
pure,
me,
utter skill.
yeah, let's go with that. You've made amends in the quiz. You've done all right. 2 out of 4
2 out
is
of
not
4.
bad.
Take that. It's probably a testament now to how much we have
Oh,
spoken to each other over the last
yeah, and
half
how
a
well you
decade
know me.
that
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can now just work out from
It's
genuine semantics how you're
so
going to
fucking
answer
annoying.
questions. And you know what makes it all the sweeter? You cannot do it with me. And it makes me so happy.
Oh, it's pissing me off.
Evidently, I just care more about other people. That's where we are.
Oh yeah, that's the reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're who am I? Are you ready?
Sure.
I've spent my entire career in the British Isles, with my only two Scottish clubs being an upcoming opponent of Heart of Midlothians and, of course, the Jambos. I scored just one more league goal for my other Scottish team as I did for HMFC, despite playing over 7 times as many games for them as I did in Maroon. Despite my short spell at the club, I featured in a cup final, although thankfully didn't play during one of the club's most embarrassing results in their history. After my time in Edinburgh, I left to play non-league football in England and made over 100 appearances for my next club after departing Hearts. Who am I?
I immediately have two answers in my head.
I like it. Hit me with it.
Elliot Frear and Jordan Roberts, but I don't know
Okay.
if we've done them. I
Right.
can't remember.
Okay.
It's just so many things because my logic is they both played for Motherwell. I think Frear did. Did Frear play for Motherwell?
Just
Roberts,
looking through our who am I's, but so far I've not come across either.
or did Roberts play for Dundee United? No, Roberts definitely went to Motherwell after us. But there is no way Roberts played seven. What was that stat? 7 times as many games.
Yes, sorry, mate. I'm just checking through. Yeah, neither of them appear.
Right.
I scored just one more league goal for my other Scottish team than I did for HMFC, despite playing over 7 times as many games for them as I did in Maroon.
Right, that worries. That kind of eliminates Jordan Roberts for me because I don't think he played 7 times more games for us. He was only at us that year, but played in that cup final, obviously the COVID Cup final against Celtic, but missed the most embarrassing result, Brora. However, you could also include like Burkikara in that. You could include Petro Cub in that. Jordan Roberts played for Stevenage. I know that. So if I ask the clubs and Stevenage doesn't come up, then it also kind of confirms that. So can I get in order the clubs this man played for?
Absolutely, you can. I'm just waiting on the. Oh, I think my screen's frozen. Hold on. I'm trying to get you the answer here.
Oh God, he's even got technical difficulties.
Here we go. Yeah, oh, sorry. Right, we're back.
He's trying to make excuses. He's trying to make
I'm
excuses because he's
I'm
realised it's
not.
Jordan Roberts and he's trying to change it mid-podcast.
I'm not. Exeter City, Tiverton Town on loan, Salisbury City on loan, Salisbury City on a permanent basis, Forest Green Rovers, Motherwell, Forest Green Rovers, Heart of Midlothian, Bath City, Taunton Town.
It might be Elliot Frear. Right, it's not Jordan Roberts. How many games will Elliot Frear have played for Motherwell? I do not remember him at all, but that is not a barometer because I do not pay attention to. Okay, I feel like it's boring, but I feel like if I can get the problem is if you say a different year, I have nibbed a year. By the way, it'll be a Mark De Vries guess just for a laugh to get us over it. But between what seasons did this man play for Hearts? Please say
This man played for Hearts between 2020 and 2021, according to Wikipedia.
It has to be Elliot Frear. Jordan Roberts played for Stevenage. I'm almost certain of it. It's between they two. Also, it's not Jordan Roberts because Jordan Roberts went to Motherwell after us, and you didn't say right. You didn't say. I don't mean right. That is correct. My point is, you said Hearts, then two English clubs, right?
I did. And if you listen to the clues, after my time in Edinburgh, I left to play non-league in England and made over
Yeah.
100 appearances for my next club after departing Hearts.
Although, would he have made 100 appearances in the last 4 years? Elliot Frear? I'm going for it because it was the first name that popped into my head when you were reading the clues. My answer is Elliot Frear.
Oh, Daniel
Did he play
McIver.
against Brora?
You were between Elliot Freer and Jordan Roberts. You overlooked Jordan Roberts and chose the correct answer. It's Elliot Freer. Very
Get
well done.
in! Come
Yes.
on. It was that one clue where you were like, I played in a cup final but didn't play because I was like, I don't think Freer played against
Yeah,
Brora.
he came on in the COVID Cup final, I believe.
Yeah.
And from the Brora match, which I rightly mentioned, he was omitted from the squad. Didn't even play.
Wow.
Didn't play.
If
Wasn't
I
on the
remember
bench.
rightly, he scored a fucking raker against Alloa in that championship season.
Good question. I'll have a look
I
actually.
might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure for like edge of the box, he scored a screamer.
Trying to think. Oh, do you know what I've searched? 1920, but of course that would have been the cup final
That would
year.
have been the, yeah.
So technically, even though it was after, that's what came up here. So 2020 to 21. Just have a look.
I'm pretty
But
certain
yes,
that's what it
two
was.
two league goals for Elliot Freer in Gorgie and one. Sorry, three for Motherwell.
Wow.
Championship, he scored against Queen of the South on the 12th of December
No.
2020 in a 6-1 win. And the other was away to Allo Athletic. Is that the goal that you're thinking of?
Why do
Yes.
I fucking remember?
In a 3-1 victory, 16th of January 2021. Do
What?
not remember that
What is
whatsoever.
that taken up in my brain that I should know, but I
That is
have it in
really
my...
obscure.
I
Like just
remember
weird
watching it.
games.
I remember watching it on stream on my couch, and it's behind him, and he's for the edge of the box, and he pings it, and it goes, "This? Why do I know it? It's in off the bar. I'm telling you now. Go back and watch it. Hits the bar and bounces in.
This is where if we had the rights, you'd just like drop it into the YouTube
Play
video
that
now.
now." I can't believe I remember that. I
Oh
like that
yes,
Elliot
mental.
Freer was quite like he was like a B-Tech Alan Forrest. He just ran a lot. He tried.
Just wasn't very good.
No, but he tried. That's more than some of the fucking like. That's more than Jordan Roberts, more than Jervain Castanier, more than all the other clowns that were in that squad.
But you were right. 100 appearances for Bath City in 4 years.
Wow, fair play, Elliot.
What? Since when? Since when did that happen?
I also cannot believe he would have played over 100 games for Motherwell, or maybe he didn't. Maybe he played like 70 games or something like
No,
that.
from what I saw on Wikipedia, it was like 8 for us and like 60 for Motherwell.
Oh, fair enough. But still, that blows my mind that a man was that pretty. He will have played against us at games I was at, and I just didn't know he
No
existed.
recollection at
Yep.
all. Yeah.
Well, if you got Elliot Freer, please let us know. And if you have enjoyed this episode, please let us know as well. It's the first negative one of the season. We were always going to have one.
And
It's
it
honestly
won't be the last.
no, it won't be. And it's honestly shocking it's taken us this long into the season to have one. But it's a sign of how good things are going.
It's been nice, exactly. Hopefully we're back to, positive vibes next week. That would be nice.
But if you have enjoyed it, please leave us a podcast review on whatever platform you use. It massively helps us out. If you're watching us on YouTube, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Perth to Paisley on all the socials. Perth to Paisley at gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
You can get me on all the socials, sharing highlights of Heart Midlothian's 3-1 victory at the Indo Drill against Allo Athletic at Kendo's column.
We will be back next week to discuss all the fallout from the Motherwell game, any potential goalkeeping / general transfer movement as well that happens within the next week. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.